Have you ever wondered why certain stocks gap up or gap down before the market even opens? In today's Mentor Recap, we're breaking down the power of daily gaps, how to spot them, what they signal, and how experienced traders turn them into opportunities. Let's get right into it.
Price literally moved to the other side. Make sense?
It makes sense.
The place that you
Change
say,
direction.
this is not actual, this is a fair value gap, but more than that, this is actually a daily gap. Because you will see most of the time the daily candles overlap each other. Okay, but on this particular instance, there's a gap between these two daily candles. Do you see that, Jeremy?
I do see it.
There's a tiny little
So
gap here. It's so tiny I can barely even draw it. Okay. No, it's not looking nice. Let's make it bigger. I want to draw it properly. Now I think I got it. You see there's a tiny little gap here. Okay, this
Yes.
is the daily gap, my brother. This is a daily gap.
I see.
Okay, then these are very insignificant because these are small. Let's try to find one which is a way bigger one. That will make it much easier for me to explain. Perfect, I got the one I was looking for.
And why not the one on like November the 7th or the 7th through the 13th?
This is a nice daily gap. This is also a nice daily gap, but this is way bigger and better
Okay.
for me to explain to you.
Okay.
We are here, right? Just for once, ignore the white lines, my brother. Okay,
Okay.
so what happens with NVIDIA? NVIDIA basically starts from here and then drastically drops down, correct?
That's a huge gap.
That's a huge gap. Okay. Why do you think that gap happened? Because we opened over the weekend, all right, drastically down from where we ended up on Friday to where we opened on Monday. We opened with a huge gap down, correct? And people who
Yeah.
were holding calls, they just got destroyed. Okay. Now, price made a violent turn. We had that, a gap down to the downside. How do you use this gap? There are multiple ways to use a gap and play it, okay? As a trader, you need to know them all, my bro. First thing, when this thing starts coming down, the gap is created, the upper level of the gap, this part, will act as a resistance initially, you see? Sorry, the lower level of the gap, will act as a resistance, you see?
Yes.
Okay, this is basically telling you what? That this thing, this level, it's challenging to break. Once you start closing properly over this level, and especially if you have another level sitting in, this was a very nice combination. You closed above the lower level of the gap, as well as you closed above a daily line, the 128.9 line. Do you see here?
Oh, and was this the same day?
No, this is another day, bro. This is a daily chart.
Okay.
First,
I
you
see.
tried to break like this guy. Okay. Second day, basically, you broke properly and you closed above the resistance line as well. You see?
Yes.
This, my brother, is telling you that the market will try to fill this gap. Why does gap fill actually work? Because you do have to remember, and especially with daily gaps, when this thing violently moved down, a lot of people had buy orders sitting there, correct?
Correct.
Okay. The whole place, people had buy orders which never got filled because we opened right here, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Very similarly, you had quite a few sell orders which were sitting in these places, correct?
Correct.
So these are what? Those are liquidity, right? The market maker is
Yes.
behind what, my brother? The market maker is always behind liquidity. That is his only objective. He is not in the market because he likes you. Any doubt?
He's
You
gonna
might
take
be
him.
a very good looking guy, but I'm sure the market maker doesn't care about you. Okay, he
No, that's
cares how
true.
much money you have in your pocket. Right?
That's true.
Okay. If you don't have money, nobody gives you a damn about here, bro. Sounds very harsh, but that's the reality, my brother. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the truth, bro. If you don't have money, God also how much likes you, I got doubt. Okay. Forget about the others. Anyway, so coming back here,
Yeah.
if you look at this, okay, this whole liquidity is there. Now, the moment the lower level of the gap is breached, you start closing above. The thing that is gonna happen, my brother, plain and simple, is you will see that from here, the market will exactly start grabbing that liquidity. Roughly, you will first go to 50% of that gap. Make sense?
Makes sense.
It will basically touch 50% of that gap. Exactly.
And
at
that's what you would have
50%,
like
you have
stock
like a
order?
resistance, you see?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And came back down and then
The market basically grabbed all the liquidity. When it comes back near the lower level to retest the lower level, okay, it doesn't have to be exactly there, but somewhere close, and starts moving back, that tells you the retest is successful. This time what you are going to do is, your target is the upper level of the gap. First time you came near about 50%, you see?
exactly. Yeah.
Second time, if the retest is successful, my bro, this time you are going to test this. Make sense?
It does.
Okay. If you basically test this, you can see clearly how to set the price targets, right? If you basically retest this,
And also what's very important, and my mentor may mention it, but as you can see, he waited till the candle to close inside of the gap, and then he let it come back down to touch or come close to support. And if you do set an entry here, you want to make sure if you came here and waited until this candle came back down here to close to support to go an entry, you want to have a stop loss a little bit under here, above, a little bit below, or you enter that here, a little bit below this stop loss here. Put a stop loss in right a little bit below your entry here, at the beginning of this support zone. So having a stop loss there, and then like he's going to mention here, your profit target would be at the top of this gap, but also you know that many people see the same chart, and people may be trying to put their profit targets at the top of this gap as well. I'll have my profit target here, some right here, just to make sure I don't get stuck in the queue. But let's see what my mentor actually says about this.
and your retest over here fails, you are coming down to 50%. Make sense?
That's what it shows, yes.
And that's exactly what happened today. I should have simply have a little bit more balls and have held on to my Nvidia puts, as well as the Tesla puts. You know, like I was super happy, like I got a lot of money. Those puts literally, I sold I think around 5-ish. Those puts went up to 10. Can you believe it? My 97% would have been actually 300%. And Alpha would have made another video, like somebody in his Discord basically caught it and all that. Okay, and told it. Anyway, the theory is basically if it goes up to the top fails, 50% range. If the 50% fails, Jeremy, where is it coming?
Coming back down to the resistance.
Yeah.
Or support now.
Now this is support, bro. Okay?
Yeah.
It will come down near here. You will see Nvidia will pretty well bounce from this level, because this time it's more stronger. Not only we had this line last time we discussed, but also this is the lower lip of the gap. Okay, and this is basically your support line. Very high likely chance of 129 Nvidia will bounce again. All right, now if this fails, my brother, what happens?
Let's go back down.
It's going to go down some more.
It's gonna go down at least to the next support or the next line that you will have on the chart. Does it make sense?
113, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, clear?
Yes.
This is how you play the gap. And the other part is the common psychology is everybody read that gaps get filled, but nobody actually knows the science behind it. Okay, the logic is basically you have a lot of liquidity sitting there. The market maker wants the liquidity. Second thing is the market maker knows we are greedy. He just gives this push. We do the rest of the work for him and keep on pushing price up. Make sense?
Yeah, and where would you put your like profit targets at? Like 50 for like the first profit target, then
here, second profit target. If we break it, then second profit target is here, and if we break this, then the next resistance. Plain and simple. I don't think
letting you run as
yeah, you cannot do it more simpler than that, right?
Let's see, the halfway point, then the top, and then
exactly
run this right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And think of those basically as your lines in the sand where price will see bounces. Got it?
And since everyone, yes, and then since everyone else can see it, you would put your profit target just a little bit below each of those as well.
You're a smart guy.
Yeah.
You learn pretty quickly and pretty well. Seriously, you learned it pretty quickly. Okay. Because it's so simple, right? If you have it there.
And now looking back on it, I kind of see three clear entry points for me. Obviously, you wanted to wait for this counter close inside of this daily gap. Obviously, being very safe. Stocks don't just always just go all the way up immediately. They do tend to come back down. Obviously, there are some sellers in the market where people buy the stock and say, oh, this stock went up. Let me go ahead and take some of my profits. So they sell here. But here you want to put your entry here, like I mentioned earlier, and also put your stop loss here. So that's one clear entry. And again, second here, like you mentioned, put your first profit target right here and your second profit target right here. But this with me would be an exit here, but also would put in an entry here for a shorting opportunity. So now that I've put in, would have exit at this point here and made some profit, I would put in another entry here for a short. And also, as you know, putting a stop loss to protect my risk here. I would stay on this opposite way for the short. I will put my stop loss around right here just to protect it in case that this stock does go up. But I'll put an entry here or probably in the middle here just to make sure I don't get stuck in the queue to make sure I do enter. So I'll probably see like a little bit of a loss at the beginning of the trade and have my stop loss here. But as this stock will here go, more than likely like it did go back down. And on the same way, like my mentor said, you'll have your first profit target here at the middle and then your second here at the end here. And again, same for me. I will have my profit target to get out of here, right here around this area a little bit before most people will probably have their profit target here at the bottom of the daily gap. But again, if you guys got some value from that, please let me know. Leave a like, a comment, subscribe if you guys finding this content any helpful, any value from this here. I just want to continue to provide good content, be value to you guys, and hopefully you guys are learning from this here. So like, subscribe, and also comment if you found some help from this. Thank you guys.